Welcome back to Magic Mishaps. This is episode 9. Last we left off, the party was being swooped down upon by marbled-like sentinel creatures as they were crossing a ravine. Yeah, anywho, let's get into it. Alrighty, so the initiative order is Kale, the Winged Sentinel, Syrah, and then Aaron.
Kale charges the nearest crystal vein embedded in the spire's base. Longsword. Hit 22. 10 slashing damage. Cracks spiderweb across the vein, black light leaking out like smoke. Kale plants himself between the sentinels and Sylra.
Two sentinels dive towards Kale, the other two peel off towards Syrah and Aaron. The one against Kale hits with a dirty 20, doing 7 slashing damage, and the other one misses, hitting against his blade instead, but not doing anything. Just a little flavor text there. The one against Syrah gets a 16 to hit, doing 5 slashing damage. And the one against Aaron, as it swoops down, using its claws, misses, getting a, what is that? That's a 13. No, yeah, 13. The wind intensifies as they continue swooping.
Sylra raises her hands, eyes locked on the damaged vein. Sylra, let's make it loud. She casts Shatter, centered on the crystal vein and nearby sentinel. Wild magic check, D6-4, surge triggers. Wild surge, harmonic feedback. The shatter radius increases slightly. Sylra takes 2 thunder damage.
One of the crystals explodes into fragmented shards, and one of the sentinels gets caught in the thunder damage as well, causing it to take 11 points of damage. The anchor pulses unevenly. The Warden runes shift. Maybe an approval? Hard to tell in combat. They don't really have time to focus in on that.
Aaron slams her staff into the stone. Aaron, life endures, even here. She casts spike growth, warping cracked stone into jagged fungal crystal around the remaining veins. 2 sentinels flying low take damage as they maneuver. Sentinels take 6 piercing damage each. Aaron's halo of spores triggers on the wounded sentinel. For necrotic damage. The construct crashes into the spire, barely holding together.
And an environmental effect happens. A surge from the anchor causes the platform to tilt, making everybody make a dex saving throw or slide 10 feet towards the ravine's edge. Kale passes. Syrah fails, but catches herself right before she goes over. Aaron passes as well. And the sentinels don't have to make the save as they are flying, so they are good for that.
Kale turns from the sentinels and finishes the second vein. Hit 18. 8 slashing damage. The vein shatters, black light snuffing out. 2 down.
One of the sentinels swoops down and tries to grab Kale and what looks to be like tossing him over the ravine's edge and just letting him fall. Kale ends up passing the grapple check. And then another sentinel flies in and attacks Syrah, doing 6 damage to her.
Bleeding, Sora snarls. Sora, enough. She casts Chromatic Orb, Force, at the third crystal vein. Wild Magic check, D61. Wild Surge, Arcane Reversal. Spell damage is maximized. Sora takes 5 psychic damage. Damage, 24 force. The final vein disintegrates completely.
With the veins destroyed, Aaron turns on the nearest sentinel. She casts Primal Savagery. Hit 18. 9 acid damage. The construct dissolves midair.
Seeing this, the remaining sentinel retreats, circling one time before returning to its dormant position along the spire. The wind dies down and the anchor pulses become erratic and weakened. The Warden steps forward, its rune plates realign, no longer hostile. Proof accepted. It turns to the damaged anchor. Redirecting overflow. Containment breach now possible. A deep vibration rolls through the broken spire. For the first time, the anchor struggles instead of feeds. Consequences are proof. The Warden will now assist in controlled destruction. The tower will feel this loss. A fragment of the bound essence stirs within the spire. The first chain has been weakened, but not broken yet. The Warden raises both of his arms. Its rune plates separate and sink into the stone, spreading out across the broken spire like a circuit being rewritten in real time. The Warden. Contaminated breach. Control mode. Redirecting essence flow. The anchor does not explode. It unravels. The black crystal veins crumble into inert dust as channel of divine energy are deviated upward and then outward, venting harmlessly into the ravine endless mist. The air screams and then steadies. Sura feels the surge of magic spewing through the air. It's unsettling, but it's necessary. Aaron drops to one knee as it feels its life return into the stone beneath her. And Kale watches as the final binding glyph snaps like a broken chain. A deep, resonated thump rolls across the ravine. Then, silence. The Warden turns to them, slower now, less rigid. Anchor 1. Neutralized. System integrity degraded, but stable. For the first time, its voice carries something like weight. You have altered the failure cascade.
Aaron exhales. Good.
Far away, too far to see, but not too far to feel. The sky itches.
Sora stiffens first, clutching her head as a cold pressure presses inward, not pain, but attention. Someone just looked at us.
The ravine shadows lengthen unnaturally. Above Hamlot's distant skyline, a faint geometrical sigil flickers into existence, too large, too precise to be mortal magic. The Warden freezes. Every rune on its body flashes crimson. Warning. Primary drain source has acknowledged loss. A voice does not speak. A concept presses into the world instead. Order, control, correction. For a heartbeat, the party glimpses something vast and inhuman. Axum, not present, but aware. The sigils fractures. Reality snaps back into place, but the message is clear. You are no longer unnoticed. The Warden turns back to the party. Recommendation. Do not remain in this location. The broken spire groans. Somewhere deep within the ravine, something answers. The broken spire shudders again, but this time the motion is different. Intentional, even. The Warden turns fully towards the Fracturebound. Its runes plate lift from the stone and reassembles around its core, now dimmer, older. Data released authorized. A projection forms in the air between them, a fractured map of the region overlaid with glowing lines like broken paths. 3 points flare. One burns brightest. Anchor 2. Destination. Skyfall Vault. The image sharpens. A sunken floating city core half buried in a desert of glassed stone. Gravity wells that invert every few minutes. The constant wild magic turbulence. Function. Essence, refinement, and redistribution.
Aaron's spores recoil at the image. That's not a drain. That's a distillery.
Sora swears under her breath. He's processing gods.
Kale tightens his jaw. Then we shut it down next.
Before the projection can fade, the air near the rune anchor ripples. Light spills out, not blinding but soft like moonlight filtered through clouds. A figure coalesced, not whole, not stable. A divine echo, a residual impact torn free when the anchor broke. Wings form first, and then a face familiar in shape but incomplete. The divine echo. I remember the sky.
Sora gasps. Aerdrie?
The echo nods faintly. Not I, but what was taken from me. It looks at each of them in turn, eyes full of ancient sorrow and gratitude. You broke the chain. Few ever do. The gaze sharpens. But the chains are connected. She raises her hand, projecting fleeting visions. Another anchor, each more heavily guarded. Gods bound in different states of decay. A central locus, the creator, where Axum feeds. The echo falters, light flickers. I cannot stay. The warning comes too late. The broken spire screams, not sound, structures. The ravine's wall begins to shear. Floating debris loosens as gravity reinserts itself violently. Chunks of the skystone plummet into the mist below. The bridge behind them starts to disintegrate. The warden snaps to attention. Catastrophic failure. Evacuation required. The divine echo turns to the party one last time. Run, and remember, freedom has a cost. It shatters into light, dispersing into the collapsing air. The ground lurches, a crack in the ravine races towards them. Kale scoops Silver forward as Aaron calls roots and stone to rise where none should exist. Behind them, the first anchor remains, vanished into the depths. The warden stands unmoving at the edge, runes blazing. Failure, contained, and then steps backward and lets itself fall. The Fracturebound reach solid ground just as the collapse finishes. The ravine is now changed forever. It's no longer endless, no longer feeding. Somewhere far above, a faint breeze carries a whisper of the wind. Campaign state update. So they successfully destroyed Anchor 1, have now learned the location of Anchor 2 while gaining Axum's full attention. The region is permanently altered, and Aerdrie's essence partly freed. The road ahead is shorter, but far more dangerous for Fracturebound. The Fracturebound do not look back. They run, then walk, then start running again, trying to put as much distance between them and the ruins that they helped create. Behind them, Shardfall Ravine settling into a new, jagged shape, the land still creaking as if it's sore from a wound that's finally begun to close. Days begin to blur together. The terrain shifts from broken hills to glass-scarred plains where lightning once fell upward instead of down. The ancient sky roads lie half buried. There, ruins flicker weakly beneath the dust. At night, the stars drift slightly out of alignment, as if the sky itself is remembering how it used to float.
Aaron senses life struggling back into places long thought dead. Moss growing where stone should not allow it, insects adapting to warped magic.
Kale keeps watch. Always watch. Sometimes he swears he sees movement in the clouds.
Alrighty, that is it for this episode of Magic Mishaps. Let me know what you think of the episode so far and the story down below in the comments. And stay tuned for episode 10. Let's see if they can make it to the Sky Vault or not. As always, don't let things weigh you down.